So you've been eyeing the Garmin Instinct 3, wondering if it's the perfect adventure watch for you. Maybe you've even bought one already. But then you start hearing complaints, misaligned screens, storage issues, inconsistent buttons, and even questionable solar charging. What's really going on with this watch? Is it the most problematic Garmin release ever? Let's break it down piece by piece so you can decide for yourself. When Garmin introduced the Instinct 3 series, expectations were through the roof. With two versions, the traditional MyPiece Solar and the new AMOLED, this watch promised rugged durability, impressive battery life, and upgraded performance. On paper, it seemed like the ideal adventure companion, a watch designed for outdoor enthusiasts, athletes, and anyone who needs a tough, long-lasting smartwatch. Garmin has a strong reputation for making high-quality sports and adventure watches, so naturally people expected nothing less than excellence. But as soon as these watches started landing on people's wrists, the complaints started rolling in. Some users were excited about the new features, but others were shocked to find issues they didn't expect. And these aren't just minor complaints. We're talking about problems that could make or break the experience. A misaligned display, inconsistent button feel, solar charging concerns, and even software update failures. Issues that shouldn't exist in a premium-priced smartwatch. Some users say they absolutely love their watch, while others are so frustrated they're considering returning it. That's the thing with a device like this. You expect it to perform flawlessly. At this price point, every detail matters. So let us take you into the most talked about issues. One of the first things people noticed, that secondary display on the solar models. If you're familiar with Garmin's design, you know this mini window is meant to provide quick glance data without taking up too much screen space. But here's the problem. On some units, it's just not centered properly. It might sound like a small detail, but once you see it, it's impossible to unsee. For some, it's just a minor annoyance, but for others, it makes the watch look defective. Users have reported returning multiple units, trying to find one with a properly aligned display. What's even more frustrating, not every watch has this issue, which suggests it's a quality control problem rather than a design flaw. Now, why does this matter? Well, when you're paying a premium price, you expect the product to be built with precision. No one wants to gamble on whether they'll get a properly aligned screen or not. And if it was just a handful of cases, fine. But multiple reports suggest it's more widespread than Garmin would probably like to admit. Now let's talk about something you'll be interacting with every single day, the buttons. Garmin watches are known for having tactile, responsive buttons, but with the Instinct 3, that's not always the case. Some users say their buttons feel perfect, clicky and easy to use. Others, they describe them as mushy, inconsistent, and sometimes unresponsive. Imagine you're out on a trail, trying to navigate through your watch's menus quickly, but you're not sure if your button press even registered. That's a frustrating experience, especially when other Garmin models don't seem to have this issue. And just like the display misalignment, this problem isn't affecting every unit. It's hit or miss, which makes it even more confusing. Why do some units have clicky buttons while others don't? That's the big question. It could be down to different manufacturing batches, or maybe a change in materials. Either way, it's something to be aware of if you're considering this watch. If you get a unit with solid buttons, great. If you don't, you might find yourself wanting to swap it out. If you're looking at the solar model, you're probably expecting some solid battery life benefits. Garmin's solar charging technology has always been a great way to extend your watch's battery life. But with the Instinct 3, things aren't as straightforward as they should be. Users have noticed that some watches have a blue-tinted solar panel when viewed at an angle. Why does this matter? Well, early tests suggest that these blue-tinted panels might actually collect less sunlight than their neutral-coloured counterparts. In fact, some reports indicate up to a 20% difference in solar energy intake. Now, does this mean your watch won't charge at all? Number, but it does mean that some users might not be getting the solar performance they expected. If two people buy the same watch, one gets 10% more solar charging than the other, and both paid the same price, that's an issue. And much like the other problems, this isn't affecting every unit. It's another case of inconsistency. This is arguably the biggest problem with the Instinct 3 Solar. A software update should be a simple process. Plug in your watch, install the update, and move on with your day. But some users are finding that their watches don't have enough storage to install updates at all. Garmin officially lists the Instinct 3 Solar as having 128 megabytes of internal storage. But when users check, they only see about 12 to 16 megabytes available. That's a huge difference. And with software updates getting bigger over time, this is a serious concern. Garmin's current workaround? Install updates through the Garmin Connect app instead of Garmin Express. That works for some, but it's not a perfect solution. A premium smartwatch should be able to handle software updates without jumping through hoops. The real question is, why is there so little free storage? Is it due to preloaded software? Is Garmin using a different storage partitioning system? Right now, users are left guessing, and Garmin hasn't given a clear answer. Now, with all these issues, you might be thinking, why would anyone buy this watch? And here's the thing, when you get a unit that doesn't have these problems, it's actually a fantastic watch. Battery life is strong, GPS tracking is accurate, and the rugged design can take a beating. For outdoor enthusiasts, athletes, and anyone who wants a durable adventure watch, the Instinct 3 still offers a lot of value. The AMOLED version adds vibrant visuals while still maintaining decent battery life, and the core features of Garmin's ecosystem are still present. So while there are definite concerns, it's not all bad news. And let's not forget, Garmin's customer service is generally pretty good. If you get a defective unit, they're likely to replace it, as long as you're within the return window. The real issue is whether you want to take that risk in the first place. So where does that leave us? Is the Garmin Instinct 3 the most faulty Garmin ever? That's a tough question. It's not an entirely broken watch, but it does seem to have more quality control issues than previous models. Garmin has a solid reputation for making durable, reliable devices, but this one has left many users feeling frustrated. The misaligned display, inconsistent buttons, solar panel variations, and limited storage are not minor complaints. They affect everyday usability, and when you're paying this much for a smartwatch, you expect everything to work as it should. Of course, not every unit has problems. Some people have had a completely smooth experience with their Instinct 3, enjoying all the new features without any issues. That makes this situation even more confusing. It's not a universal problem, it's an inconsistency. One person gets a flawless device, while another gets one with an off-center display and mushy buttons. This kind of variation can be frustrating for customers who expect quality control to be more reliable. When you buy a premium smartwatch, you don't want to play the lottery with defects. Hopefully Garmin will take these reports seriously and improve production in future batches. But for now, it's clear that the Instinct 3 has been a mixed experience for buyers, with some loving it and others feeling completely let down. And that's all about the flaws of Garmin Instinct 3. What do you think? Have you run into any of these problems, or is your Instinct 3 working just fine? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth tech reviews.